Hey everybody, welcome to an exciting Fab Fit Friday. Yesterday on Thursday, I normally work with my friend Eric to, I'm rebranding patterns and he's helping me with my pattern work and doing different things. And I decided instead of doing that this week, I was going to reorganize my studio because I can't stand the clutter anymore and I can't stand feeling like squished in my room. So I'm going to start with that. But before I do that, let's just stop and say hi to Mary and Andrea and Karen and Victoria. Welcome, ladies. Karen says she is Andrea says that's okay. We're here. I love that. I was having trouble getting my audio to click on. Sometimes with all the wires and things, I have cables I have to connect. That's why I was, I got here kind of on time, but I was all raring to go like 10 minutes ago, and then I couldn't get my audio to work. All right, now let me just say, Karen is saying, hi Jen, especially looking forward to this one because I own the book, but I have never tried her technique. I'm assuming you're talking about the Gullian Holman draft. Yes, I'm going to share that with you. I'm very excited about it. And oh, Polly's here. Hey, oh, you're looking forward to next weekend. All right, so Polly's coming to my bodice fitting workshop. And just to update you guys, there is one spot left. So I have 9 people and I'm very excited. So if anyone else would like to join us, it's going to be at the Hampton Inn in Manchester, Connecticut on Friday the 20th to Sunday the 22nd. And I'm very excited about it. We're going to have a great time. And because I've been immersed in bodice everything, I have a lot of really cool things already organized and ready to show. Plus my mind is in the game for bodice. So I'm very excited. And Polly, I can't wait to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch my view to my table view before I show you the muslins. Oh, actually, no. I'm going to put this back on. I want to show you some improvements I made in my studio. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm hoping I can take this off so I can point it around and show you. What I did in the background is I moved, okay, so that's the back corner where I moved my my big shelf that was over on the side. It was over here. So now you can see that shelf is gone. So I could push the table back into that little nook. Okay, so I took the shelf that was there and I moved it to this back corner over here. Okay, my dress form is in front of it right now. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to organize my dress forms, but just so you can see. Okay, and then I have my sewing machine table, and then the smaller shelf that was there by the closet door is now facing sideways in that corner. And then I'm even brave enough to show you down below. So you can see I put one of my shelves under my table. Okay, and that's going to encourage me not to have any mess under my table. So see how nice that is? And you can see straight through to the back of the room. I'm going to take that cabinet that's back there. I'm going to put it over here. Let me show you this. So over here now, this is where my embroidery machine was. And you can see now it's a big empty space. And I have my patterns hanging on the wall. I've got a couple dress forms in disarray over there, but I'm going to fix those. Don't worry. I'm going to put that cabinet there. And notice I have a lot of nice clean room now to operate this giant jib that holds my big camera that is my table shot camera. But I like the fact that I can slide it around now without getting in the way. And I even cleaned and organized my shipping area and some other things. And I'm just very excited. So across from me there, you can see that's where my embroidery machine went. And I'm going to put a chair back there, and I may put this little table that's right here. I might put that over there so I have somewhere to sit when I'm embroidering. I haven't decided yet. But in any case, things are much neater than they were, and I'm just very excited to share that with you. And I have to admit, now that I showed you, you know, my neatness, I want to show you another picture. Let me just stop and say hi to Sandy. Hello from Vegas. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Chevy Braggs from Dallas. Welcome, welcome. And Karen says, I just did the very thing last month, organized everything with all things creative, overwhelming, but I'm happy. Doesn't it feel good, Jen? It does. It does. But I will tell you, let me just show you this picture. This is how you know I love you. I'm going to show you some, I'm going to show you what my workroom table looked like after I got done cleaning. Oh, here's my friend Eric helping me. So I took a picture. There he is helping me. It's hard to see in there. But then when he left, here's my table. Look at all the clutter on that table. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness. So I forced myself to clean my table off to get it to look like this before I stopped working yesterday. So it does feel good, but I also have a lot of other things to do in here. I'm still organizing, and I want everything to be neat and tidy at my fingertips when I'm looking for it. So I just don't feel choked now because I have all this space around me that I can work. So I'm very excited. Hello, Martina. Welcome, welcome. You just missed my shaky tour of my new organized cleaner studio. So if you're interested in that, you can check it later. But actually, this is where the action adventure part of the Fab Fit Friday comes, because we're going to dive into these 2 pattern drafts now. Oh, Mary says, I need to do that also, but I have such a hard time with scraps of fabric that seem too big to throw away or too small to make anything. I will tell you, the number one reason why I asked my friend Eric to come over and help me is because he is the voice of reason I need. Do I really need to save these books? Or do I really need to save this scrap? Or do I really need to save this thing I don't even know what it is? You know, he really helped me sort through things. And of course, a lot of the things that I did take out like 4 bags of garbage from my room, but then there are some things across the hall that I still need to organize in my daughter's old bedroom. And the other thing I took down, that was the reason why I could put my embroidery machine in the back of my room, is because I took down a big shelf my dad had made me. But let's be honest, I have not touched anything on that shelf since I put it on there when I set it up like 10 years ago. So if you guys have a shelf in your room that is beautifully organized because you never touch it, chances are you can probably take all the stuff off of that shelf, find other places for it, or recycle it, or gift it, or store it somewhere else, and then you'll have more room to actually organize the things that you use. So that was my number one goal yesterday, was to sort of filter out the things that I have that I don't use anymore. And I have a lot of, like, I found a lot of art supplies in here, different kinds of fancy papers and different inspiration books, like clip art books, and different books I used when I was doing a lot of embroidery designs and looking for inspiration. So all of that stuff went downstairs into my granddaughter's craft supplies. So I'm really feeling happy about where I am right now, but I still have some more work to do. But I also had time to sew up the 2 bodices, the bodice drafts that we did the past couple of weeks. So I want to talk about some things on them first, and then I'm going to show you the muslins. You can kind of see it there in the background on my ditto form. I put 1/2 on one side and 1/2 on the other so we can compare them in real time together. So let me, oh, Karen goes, it's really ugly before it gets good. Oh my God, I literally felt so deflated yesterday when Eric left. You know, because his job was not to help me clean, it was to help me organize. So after he left, I had to do the cleaning by myself, and it was kind of a a thing, but I'm glad I did it, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep improving the space, because here's how it's going to benefit you guys. I am dying to do more behind the scenes. Like if I'm just working on something, I'd love to turn my camera on and talk about what I'm doing and upload things, to share more behind the scenes. And I couldn't do that because my room was such a mess. So now I'll be able to like stand in front of my mirror, and I'll be able to, talk about what I'm looking at if I'm trying something on myself, and share that with you without being embarrassed that I have stuff all over the floor. So I'm very excited. Oh, Betty says, looks good. I need to organize my patterns. Oh, I know. I will tell you that if you have a lot of patterns, I love my Sew Tights quilt hanging system that I use for to hang my pattern pieces instead. I love that. So that has been a game changer for me, because I have not lost a single pattern now since I've started hanging my patterns from the wall. So there you are. Oh, hi, Charlotta. I was going to reach out to you, actually. I'm so happy you came. I don't know. I gave you a shout out when, when one of the drafts that I did, I thought of you in the minute I looked at the cover of this book, and it was pattern cutting made easy. If you guys don't know, Charlotta has an amazing Instagram, and I put her Instagram and her YouTube channel in the review of this book, which there is a link in the description below for this book review, and also for the draft that I did from it. So definitely check her out, because she is so talented, and she makes so many cool, she shows you how to fit things, she shows you how to design things, and I just absolutely love her. So welcome, welcome. Oh, she needs to organize her patterns in studio too. Do a little each day. Yes, well, I had to do a deep dive. Now that I've done a deep dive and I've gotten rid of a lot of the clutter, I can do a little bit each day to finish it up. So that is a good tip. All right, so what I want to do here is let me show you what I have on my table here. This is the draft that I did from this book. So if you remember, I did a draft from Apparel Design Through Patternmaking, and I also did one through this book. So to start out with, someone had pointed out to me when I was showing this draft, and if you remember, my big nemesis in terms of which a measurement and having trouble with it was getting my, base of armhole measurement. So I was really excited the way this book got that measurement. And if you remember, it was from measuring the tip, the top of your vertebra down to the base of your armhole down your center back. And then there was a formula in there. So after you did that measurement, there was a formula in there. And I feel like this drafting book relies very heavily on the bust measurement, because you're taking the full bust measurement and you're using it many different ways, and you divide it many different ways to get many different things. So after you measured, I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see. So you take the body measurement from the base of your neck down to armhole level, and I put an elastic band around me and also my ditto form to get that measurement. And I got 9 when I measured there. And then there was a armhole depth calculation chart here, and what they wanted you to do based on your bust circumference. So my bust circumference, 34 to 36. Oh, I'm sorry. Over 42 inches was what I had to use, because I have a 44-inch full bust. They wanted you to divide the bust by 4 and then minus 1 inch. So when I did that calculation, I got 10. And so then the instructions were a checkpoint to check your armhole depth. If there's a difference between your body measurement and the calculation, find the middle. So I found 9 for a body measurement and 10 for my calculation. So I changed it to 9.5. So the reason why I'm just reminding you of that is because this green line was my 9 measurement, and then I went to 9.5. And then when I tried to draw it, I was having a hard time creating the shape. And the reason why I was having a hard time creating the shape is because since I had these 2 lines, I mistakenly tried to use the diagonal guideline from the green line to draw from the pink line. And so I got this weird shape that kind of looked like this when I tried to touch the edge and then go up to here. And someone commented and noticed that, you know, left me a comment after to say that my diagonal was on the wrong line. So once I changed it, this orange is now the line I used. Okay, so from here, the 2 inches, then I could easily make a nice shape. So I decided to go with the pink line for my finished, you know, for my finished muslin, or my finished pattern. So that is the one change I made on this. Okay, and then on this one, this one was the Gullian Holman draft. I didn't change anything. I just traced it as is. Now, after I traced the pattern, I made another change. I'm going to show you that in a minute, but I just have to see here. Oh, Charlotta says, thanks for the shout out. I'll have to watch that. I've heard good things about the book. I'm blushing now. Oh, good. Well, you deserve it. Let me tell you, I love to share other talents with my, you know, with my subscribers here because, you know, I don't know everything, and I love it when people have the chance to learn from a variety of different people, and I feel like you're definitely on the top of my list for someone who does drafting and pattern hacking and fitting and everything else. So, all right, so now I'm going to remove these drafts, and I just want to show you something that I did. Originally, I was just going to trace them, cut them out, and sew them together, but there was one thing I wanted to change, and I'm going to show you why I changed it as soon as I just say that. Victoria says, my sewing room is a disaster, but won't be dealt until I return from vacation May 1. Right now, busy trying to sew some things for vacation. Well, I think you've got the right priority, Victoria. Get yourself ready for your vacation. Go on your vacation, and then when you come back, I think you'll feel refreshed and motivated to clean, maybe. All right, so what I want to show you here is, and I think I mentioned this when I was working on these drafts, I felt like my slope of shoulder was going to be too much based on the angles I was seeing in my drafts. So I'm just going to push back one of my seam allowances here, and I'm going to line up my shoulders. And what I want to show you here is when, oh, let me do the original. So let me fold it on the original line first. Hold on. So this is the original shoulder seam I got from the draft, the orange lines are. So if I line up this with my orange, so if I line up my orange, you know, my orange shoulders, you can see that the armhole is slightly collapsed and it's making a V right here. And this V is something that you always want to fix because you will see it in your finished garment. It will show as a V on your shoulder. So what I did was I opened it up until I got a nice, smooth, you know, straight transition through from front to back. And then I took half of that and I added it to the front, and I took the other half and added it to the back. So if you look at what I did here, you can see the orange was the original and the blue was my final when I added that 1/2 inch up there to make a nicer transition front to back. Plus, I know that my slope of shoulder was not as sloped as the draft. So that is the only change I made. And to keep it fair for comparing these two drafts, I also did the same thing to that was the Apparel Through Patternmaking book. And then this was the Pattern Cutting Made Easy. And so again, you can see, I'm not going to fold it all up here, but you can see I added this pretty much the same amount to create a nice transition, you know, front to back. And just to remind you here, this one has, this pattern cutting method gave you a shoulder dart and a waist dart. Okay, so I got both darts in this. Okay, whereas the Apparel Through Patternmaking only had a bust dart. So it's kind of cool. There's two different dart situations shaping the front. So I found that to be interesting as well. Now, the other thing I want to say is I used the same list of body measurements. So like if I was using, except if they got the measurement differently. So in the Gullian Holman book, to get the base of armhole, she had you measure literally from here, the tip of your shoulder, where the, you know, where the joint is, down to your bicep level. And I showed how to take that measurement in the book review video that I have listed in below. So that's how the base of the armhole was determined here. And then remember, the Apparel Through Patternmaking was measuring the center back. So it was, I think it was a little bit of a different measurement, but other than that, I used the same measurements. Now, did each draft use the same measurements? Most of them, but I'm going to show you some things that are apparent when I show you this, you know, this to my things here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ditto form over here. Oh my gosh, I can square dance in my studio now. I'm so excited. All right, so let's look at this together. So this side is the Apparel Through Patternmaking. Okay, I'll just show you the back. And then this side over here is the Pattern Cutting Made Easy. You can see the two, you know, you've got the shoulder dart and the bust dart. Now, the first thing I noticed right out of the gate is that there's a difference in lengths, both at center front and at center back. Now, the reason why there are two different lengths here is the Apparel Through Patternmaking instructions were to measure from, which one is this one? Where it was to measure from center back neckline to waist. And then the Pattern Cutting Made Easy had you measure from the neck shoulder junction down to here. Now, interestingly, you would think, I mean, I measured from here to here, and I did not get it. It doesn't make it to there, but this one does. So I find that very interesting. Well, it almost does. It's about a 1/4 inch short, but basically that's why we have the difference in measurements here. And then if you compare what I have going on in the front, you can see that in the front, my waist doesn't make it to my waist at all in either draft, because both drafts were using the back waist measurement. And if I were to, oh, guess how many tape measures I found when I cleaned? I have tape measures all over the place now, so I'll never have to look for it again. So I'm just going to measure from here, from my shoulder down to my waist. I get 20.5 inches, right? If I pull it tight without going into the contour here, I get a little more than 20, like 20 and 8. No, I still get a little, almost 20.5. Okay, and then when I measure here, I get 18.5. And the reason why that is because I have such a large cup size. So these are some of the things you have to think about when you're drafting. If you're using your back measurement, right, but you know you have a large bust, then maybe use the center front measurement for that instead of the center back. The one thing, the reason why the the reason why the Apparel Through Flat Pattern Making is longer, so you can see it reaches down longer, is because after you draft your bust dart, you lower the waistline all the way across that much. So this is approaching what it needed to be because I added the bust dart. And if I added the bust dart that I know I need, I probably would have gotten down to the waist. This bust dart is only, you see, this bust dart is only, it's a 3-inch bust dart. Well, actually, at the stitching line, it's only 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches, so 2.5-inch bust dart. If I compare that to my shirt that fits, so I'm also teaching a bodice fitting class. You can see how much larger this dart is. This dart measures, I would say, at the stitching line, this dart measures 1 3/4, so that's 3.5-inch dart is what I really need. So if I had made my dart a 3.5-inch dart, I would have dropped this and it probably would have matched my waist. So that's this one. This one, there was nothing to add because there is no bust dart. So this was solely relying on the back waist, and that's why this one is short. Now, how did we get the size of this bust dart in the draft in Apparel Through Pattern Making? We took the full bust measurement and we divided it by 24, which only gave me, if I do it on my calculator, because I don't remember, hold on one second. So if I take 44 and divide it by 24, I get 1.8 inches, which is tiny. So I already took some license and made the dart bigger than the instructions in the book because I know I have a giant cup size. So that's just something to look out for. And those are the differences between why they're not the same length and why one's longer than the other. The other thing I'll say about this vertical situation is, I would say my bust dart also, I think, needs to be a little bit lower. And you can see that my waist dart is like, here's my apex. So my waist dart is about 1.5 inches past that. And where I stopped my shoulder dart is about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches away from my apex. So, you know, that needs to be adjusted. But in terms of overall shape, I really do like this Pattern Cutting Made Easy book better. Now, both of these books did not consider the differences between, you know, your front waist measurement and your back waist measurement. So you can see on both sides, I can't even pull this to match, you know, and you can clearly see I need more cup. Now, just for ha-has, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take out my shoulder seams, and I'm doing that because I just want to drop it and see what happens if I drop the darts into the right position, because the darts, you know, they need to be a little bit, you know, especially for like a G cup, I would say, you know, 5/8 to 3/4 inch below your apex. And what I want to do is I just want to drop it and show you, because where the dart is where the cup shape is. And if the dart is not in the right place, then what happens is your fullness is not in the right place either. So I just want to, oh, I really sewed this like I meant it. I should have basted these. I got all excited to sew. All right, so Now let's see what happens when I drop this. I'm going to unpin it too from each other here. So like if I drop this and get that in the right position, now obviously you can see that I still need a little bit more room, right? But it fits better. So I just wanted to show you the importance of, you know, getting the dart in the right position. Now on this side, this dart is closer. I would just have to drop this one just a little bit to get it into position. But again, it still probably needs a little bit more room. And I added an inch allowance so I could let it out, but this wasn't enough to get this to fit me. So I'm gonna have to play with okay, so I'm gonna do one more draft, and I kind of feel bad because someone had commented that they wanted me to use a book that was in print, but I have a book that drafts a torso sloper without going through the bother of having a to the waist and then adding your hip block to make a torso. So I want to try that because I think it's really cool. So after that, after I do my last draft, I will work on fitting one of them, whichever one I think is the closest. And so far it will be this one, right? And then I'm going to design something new. So I am excited to work with these. But I do want to show you, that third book, give you a little heads up. And I haven't even looked to see if it's readily available. I know that's bad, but I just really want to try it. So let me just show you. Okay, let me just show you here. I'm going to switch my view. I'm going to go right under my table where I put that book. So I'm happy to report I don't have to go running around looking for the book because I have it right under here. I'm going to show you this. And you know what I'll do? I will look for a current book that has a bodice draft. A torso draft. And if I can find one, I will use that book. But like I said, okay, let me just scooch this back over here. It's this book right here. The Complete Book for Making Basic Patterns for Individual Figure. And this is a book that I found in the Threads magazine library. And I'm very excited about this because look it does a full torso draft. So you can see right out of the gate, it is all set up like the bodice draft. You've got your rectangle like we've started with. And my guess is, if I were just to guess here, let's look at the first page for a second. So from A to the right, it's 1/2 your full bust plus an inch of ease. So we're working with 1/2 of a full bust plus ease like we've been doing all along. It's just now we're making a waistline here, and then we're having from waist to full hip. I'm guessing 3 to 4 would be, I'm guessing this is waist to full hip, and then this is waist to shoulder. Okay, so I'm kind of excited to try that. This book was printed in, let me see when this book was printed. 1971. It was revised in 1987. So my guess is this is not going to be a book that we'll be able to find super easy. So I may try to find another book that's more current that has a torso sloper. So I will look for that some more. I will look at that some more before I decide for sure. Karen's asking me if there is any ease in the drafts I showed you. So in the drafts that I showed you, both of them added an inch. I added an inch of ease for half. So I added 2 inches of ease to my full bust measurement and then divided it in half. So instead of 44, it was 46. So it was 23 instead of 22. So I did add 2 inches of ease across both, across both full busts. And actually, I think the ease this way is okay. I think I just need more cup for these. Now you have to remember, this is, having a G cup shape puts me out of the normal, if there is a normal, like for standard measurements, like my full bust measurement, it's a little bit deceiving because someone else could have a 44-inch full bust and be a B cup or a C cup or a D cup. So your full bust measurement doesn't really break down to what is your actual cup size versus what is your around the body measurement. So that's why I think if you have a larger bust, that can be lost in the draft, because I think I have enough going around. I mean, you can see I can button it, or not button it. So I can pin it center back, and I can pin it close center front, right? So I think the ease is okay. I just think I need more cup because I'm a G cup, like I'm a real G cup. Like my bra is 40G is my cup size. So if I didn't have such a large cup, then this whole thing may fit better because I think the diameter is correct. So that's how I feel about that. And then of course, I think if you look at the side view, so you can see it's hanging from my full bust right in the front. So there's plenty of ease in there. Like if I were to lengthen it, I'd have enough ease. I really think that the thing is, it's the cup shaping that I need for that. So that's what I think about that. And I'm going to play with it. And I'm going to see. But I think even though this is not fitting fabulously, this is the Pattern Cutting Made Easy, I do like this. I still really like this draft the best, I think. And it was also very easy to follow along. That's another thing. So if you're new to drafting, I definitely think I would go with that. So that's how I feel about those things. All right, so I'm running out of things to talk about. I would have had more done today if I hadn't spent literally all day cleaning yesterday and organizing. So this is going to be a quick one today. But I really, again, want to thank everybody who's following along. And if you are working on Bodice and you need help, please reach out. I'll help you. You can post your comments here. You can post them in my YouTube club if you're a member there, or you can post them in my Facebook group there. There's plenty of places you can get me. Oh, Victoria's saying something. Let's say she said I wish I had plans to redo my bootstrap pants form. I've lost quite a bit of weight. I'm actually thinking of making it a tad smaller than me and getting the padding kit if I gain any weight back. That's not a bad idea, Victoria. If you're going to spend all that time, I don't know how much time. I don't have that. I've been very tempted by that pattern though. Like I may get that one day and try it. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, bootstrap fashion patterns makes dress form pattern pieces basically. So you can get the full body, you can get the torso, or you can get the leg. And I think you could probably even get an arm. I don't know for sure, but my point is you can do that. You can order from them. And I will tell you from my experience working with padding a dress form in general, you want to start with a much smaller size and then pad up. So the same thing I think could be true for a pants form. if you make it a little bit smaller than your measurement, then you do have the ability to pad it back up if you need to. So I do think that's a good idea. You know, and I have, of course, you know, I have my ditto form, I have my mini as well. And you can see here, like, I could, let me just turn this a little bit this way. I could, you know, put half scale pants on this form to see how it's fitting, but unfortunately the, you know, inside here is not anatomically correct, so I wouldn't get the right crotch shape, but it does get pretty close because the rise is correct for the most part. Oh, Mary says, I have Susie Furrer's Building Patterns, the Architecture of Women's Clothing. Mary, does that have a torso draft in it? I've heard of Susie Furrer because I know she has a lot of classes on Craftsy. I've never looked at any of her stuff. But I am having fun, you know, trying different drafts. I don't know, I feel like there needs to be more guidance in these drafting books to help you customize the shape for your figure as you're drafting to minimize the number of fitting adjustments you need. Oh, Mary said it has a top and a bottom. Mary, is that book still in print? The Susie Furrer book? I don't know, 'cause maybe I could get that one. You know, I am not 100% tied to this one yet. I just like the idea of trying a torso draft. You know what I mean? I like the idea of trying that. And plus, it was really fun for me to go through all of my books. I literally took all my drafting books, spread them all over the table, and like perused them all for several hours. Actually, it really was a lot of fun to do that. But I will be using the Jan Minot book for the fitting portion when I start to fit whichever draft I decide. Excuse me, so sorry. Oh, whatever draft I decide to do, I will be sharing the Jan Minot book. Now this week I'm taking a break from reviewing a drafting book. I have another special surprise that I'm going to show you on Cool Tools tomorrow. So, or I'm not tomorrow, but on Monday next week, I have a cool tool I'm going to share that's not a drafting book, but it's obviously sewing related. I'm very excited to share it with you. So I will be sharing that on Cool Tools, and then maybe what I'll do for Fit Tip Tuesday is share some fitting things for one of the drafts that I'm working on now. All right, so Kay says, hi Jen, she just recently published a new book. I have it, The Ultimate Guide to Designing Clothing Patterns. Oh, maybe I'll check that out. Maybe. So I guess it's to be determined what the third draft for Bodice is going to come out. I have an extra week. And then remember, Friday next week, I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be teaching the Bodice class, the 3-day Bodice class. So I won't be here. There's no Fab Fit Friday next week. So I have a little bit of a window to finally decide what that final drafting book will be. And I'll be able to, you know, get that going for the week after. So I'm very excited. But anyway, all right, I appreciate everyone who chimed in with, you know, different book ideas. If you are watching this after the fact, if you're catching the replay and you know of a good drafting book I haven't shared yet that has a nice draft, especially if it has a torso draft, please post that in the comments so I can check it out. And I'll keep my eyeball out for comments or suggestions for drafting books, you know, because it would be nice to pick another book that's actually in print. So, because I'm sure there are some fabulous ones. I've been stuck in my little bubble. Before I started researching all the different other books I had, I was really, you know, Helen Joseph Armstrong was my base for learning pattern drafting. So, trying all these new different processes of drafting has been a lot of fun for me. Oh, hey, Darlene. I was just going to sign off. So that's my report for today. I'm really excited about this whole Bodice thing. And I will tell you that going forward, I'm going to organize my content for my YouTube channel in a manner that supports what I'm doing in other things, like I've done with the pants and with the bodice. So if you remember, January, February, I did a pants draft fit design series. And then I was also teaching pants fitting. And then this month and next month, I'm teaching bodice fitting on Zoom, and I have one more class for that on Sunday. And then I'm teaching bodice next weekend. I'm also teaching bodice for 2 different ASG groups in April, March and April. So I really feel like that helps me be a better teacher if that's what I'm immersing myself in. And I'm very excited about the way this is going because it's making it easier for me to try things and share things, and it makes sense because it all goes together, and I'm really kind of excited about that. So after I finish the bodice draft, I'll come up with another topic that will run a month or two, and hopefully it'll be related to other things I'm doing. So, you know, I can keep this going for myself. It may be hard for me to come up with another topic that's not, you know, that has to do with something I'm doing that has nothing to do with my content, but whatever it is, it will be a long-term subject. So I really like having, you know, like spending the month working on something because it really helps me develop new ideas and different other things. I mean, I do want to get back to working on pants because I want to try the pants draft and the apparel through pattern making book. And I'm also trying to fit somebody from Arizona. There was one student that I had a really hard time with, and she's got a fun shape that I'm trying to figure out how to get the last bit of it done so it's nice. I mean, we got very close, but I want to make it perfect for her, and I'm still thinking about that. Okay, wants to know which ASG groups. So this next weekend, this Saturday, I'm teaching part 1 for the Chicago ASG in their couture group. I'm teaching a half day this coming up Saturday, and then next month we have a full day of fitting, bodice fitting. So we're gonna do a half, get it started, and then we'll do the full day in April. And then the other group is I'm going to Pennsylvania to Silver Springs. I think it's the Central Pennsylvania ASG. I'm teaching a 2-day bodice fitting there. I'm gonna drive there to teach that. Oh, Karen says maybe covering adding ease to make garments from this draft. Well, I definitely will do that because remember, after I show one more draft, I am going to fit one of the drafts to me, and that will include adding ease, and then I will design it into an actual style. So we have another whole month to go on bodice, so be ready for that. Okay, says that sounds like fun. I know it is fun. I'm excited. I really like this weekend. I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be a perfect weekend. I'm teaching 4 hours of bodice fitting to the Chicago ASG on Saturday, and then I'm teaching day 3 of the Zoom bodice fitting class I hosted myself on Sunday. So to me, it's going to be a banner weekend. I'm very excited about it. And then, of course, next weekend, I will be 3 days of bodice fitting. Super excited about that. So I love teaching, and it's just, if I could teach every day, I would. I absolutely love it. But I also love coming on here with you guys and sharing things we're working on too. So this is a lot of fun for me too. So I love, as a matter of fact, this is the highlight of my week every week, especially if I'm not teaching, to come on with you guys and see you guys and share what's going on and so on and so forth. So anyway, I think that's my report. And I skipped hiking this morning because I really wanted to get all of this done for you. So I'm going to turn my cameras off and I'm going to jump in the car and take my dogs hiking now. And it's a little bit warmer here. We went from like 60s and 70s back down to 20s this morning. And it might be 40 now, which would be perfect for hiking for me. So I'm going to go do a hike now. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do with the rest of my Friday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, Mary says they will love your class next week. I certainly like the 3-day pants fitting. Oh, thank you so much, Mary. Oh, and I just want you to know I'm so happy I got to meet you in person. There's something special when you get to meet people in person, or even on the screen. You know what I mean? Like I love seeing you and connecting your face with your name and comments and everything else. So it just really is fun for me. So thank you, thank you. Um, up Fire on the Planet says very informative. Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for joining me. I really want to thank everybody for joining me. I know there's so many things to do in life, and the fact that you take a little bit of time to spend with me, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to gather up my little doggies and I'm going to go for a hike. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in 2 weeks for Fab Fit Friday. And I will be posting some behind the scenes from the workshop next weekend. Oh, also make sure you check out Cool Tools. It's going to be very cool. I'm very excited about Cool Tools next week. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for coming, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and have a fabulous weekend. All right, bye.